Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Split Tech City podcast. Today I am joined by John Rogosic. Hello John.
Hi.
Hi. And he will tell us a little bit about himself, what made him come to Croatia, or more accurately come back to Croatia, and what do you do for a living, why come back. We want to know all about it.
Okay, if you want to know, I guess I'll share. So I actually was born in New York. My father's from Split. The first time I came to Croatia, I was 3 years old. And I've been back every year. I have family here. I really developed a strong network of friends here as well throughout the years, coming back every summer. It's it's very typical for Croatian Americans to come back during the summers. It's just kind of the thing that we do,
Yeah,
right?
true.
And then for a while I was thinking about coming back to Croatia. It must have been maybe in my mid-20s I started thinking about it, maybe a bit more than 10 years ago. And I realized that this would be the perfect place to come for retirement. But one of the things that always kept me a little bit ambivalent about coming back was that whole idea of, there's the salary gap, right, between the US and Croatia is just immense, and then there's the education gap. There's a lot of different considerations to take into place. And then that kind of always stayed in the back of my mind. And then with COVID and everything, I just decided it was time to make a change. I decided that you know what, I'm tired of waiting to come back. I'm tired of spending every vacation coming back and really organizing my life around being here. I might as well just live here and then just make this the place that I want to live. So that's been really my, I guess you'd call it, that was the moment. COVID was the moment when I realized, I just need to change. I think so many people have realized that they just need to change with COVID, that they just need to make a change in their life.
True. That's really something that kind of made us look on our life and what we do and how we approach life, and kind of made us all think about it a little bit more, and really gave us the courage to make those changes, which is really great.
Well, I think what you said there is really key. It takes a lot of courage. I mean, anyone that makes a move to Split, to any other country, anyone that moves internationally, you absolutely need to have a lot of courage. In my case, I already speak Croatian, so it was a little bit less of a leap. But since coming to Split, I've met so many foreigners who have moved here, so many expats from so many different countries, and many of them don't have any connection to Croatia other than that they fell in love with it. And its beauty, and its culture, and cuisine, and its lifestyle. And I think that's one of those things that really does take a lot of courage to just upend your entire family and move across the globe.
True. And one thing you are going to make sure they have is an educational opportunity for their children, right? Because you're starting Split an international school here. So tell me a little bit more about that. Why?
Why?
Yeah, that's the first question.
So
Why?
there was not an international school in Split, and it's just something that I couldn't believe. So I've been in education my whole career. I actually started teaching when I was in high school. I volunteered as an intern for middle school science classes, and that stayed all the way through my undergrad and my PhD at MIT. I was teaching. I eventually became a lecturer for a short time, and that was really my passion. And then after that, I foolishly left education, did a small tech startup in San Francisco. I think it's just one of those things you kind of do. You move into tech, you do a quick startup, you realize, okay, this isn't for me. And then I ended up back in teaching. So I taught at a private high school out in the Bay Area, and that was just really rewarding. And then with COVID going online and everything, I decided to come here and teach at a distance. And then I decided that I just needed a break. So I was going to take a year or two off from education. I was just going to relax, go scuba diving. I'm a dive master as well, and it's just one of those things I thought I'd travel the world, see a little bit of the underwater world post-COVID. And then I actually ran into a couple of my future co-founders, I guess you could call them, and they'd also come to Split. They'd made that life change with COVID, and they just realized that they needed to be here. It was just a place that they wanted to be, and they actually asked me for help finding a school for their kid. They knew about the schools in Zagreb. There's a couple of international schools in Zagreb. You have the American, the British, the French, the German, and they couldn't find the website for the one in Split. And I said, okay, great, let me help you guys find it. And for 2 weeks, I asked around all my friends, all my cousins' friends, you name it. Nobody could find one because there wasn't one. And it's just one of those things that it was like so obvious that there needed to be that I just hadn't even considered that there wasn't. And that all happened last September. We started thinking about this whole process, I guess it'd be about 10 months ago now. And we started looking into it, and then we realized, you know what, we can do this. We have the people, we have the expertise in education, we have the expertise in business, in marketing, in finance, that we can put a team together and we can make this project happen. And that's really how we got started, and the why is just every international city, every destination, every city of this size in the world has an international school, and I can't believe that we have the opportunity to do this, because this is such a great thing. It's gonna bring so many awesome things to Split. We've already allowed so many families to stay here, to relocate here. We have 37 students confirmed for this year already, over 25 families that we've impacted, and it was just an amazing response from people, and it's been a good project, and I feel really rewarded.
That's really, really great to hear. And one thing I want to ask you, I mean, I already see that you're excited.
I am excited.
Yes.
No, oh my gosh.
And I mean, school's about to start in September, so you should be excited. And what about the team? Is the team ready? Do you feel ready?
Oh my God, absolutely. So I've been in education for over 15 years now, and some of the teachers that we've gotten together for this project, that's what excites me the most about it almost, is just how well we click and how well we work together. I'm sure you know from your workplace, but from any workplace, coworkers are one of those most important things in terms of leading to the good quality of a finished product. And the thing that we've done is we've really engaged a group of motivated teachers. They're all really passionate about this project and succeeding. They're all really passionate about what they teach and their subject areas, and we've got such a variety of expertise. We have teachers from the US, from the UK, we have teachers who have taught in Turkey before, we have teachers from Croatia locally, we have folks from all sorts of different backgrounds, and we've been working together intensively. Our educational committee started meeting last February, and for the past 4 months we've really been working on I guess you could say the educational components in the piece, and all of our teachers are trained by the International Baccalaureate program. We've all been taking our I guess online now because of COVID, but we've all been taking our additional trainings, even though we're all certified in our countries of origin. It's one of those things that we're really giving it our all, and we're really excited to be working together on this.
That's so great to hear, because like you said, it's important to have a good team, because when you have a good team, then you're unstoppable, basically.
You're unstoppable and you're having fun.
Yes, true.
If you love your job, it doesn't feel like work.
True.
And if your colleagues are motivated, there's no sending a reminder email, could you please this? There's no, oh, I was on vacation, I didn't get to it. Everyone is really, it's just amazing. It feels like that startup environment again, where everyone is 100% invested and everyone is really giving it their all. But we're already at such a huge scale. Our budget's over €250,000 this year, just for starting. We have 10 staff members, looking at hiring our 11th now. We have so many different community members that have been involved, so many different educational, political figures locally that have contributed to this project. It's just been, it's been so great seeing everyone come together and realize this need and make this happen.
That's great. And what about the future? I mean, you're talking about now, and the present is very exciting and very positive. How do you see Split International School developing here in Split in the future? What are some goals you aspire to achieve with this project, and what are some maybe desires, wishes that you hope come true?
Well, honestly, I see it growing, and I see it growing so fast, and I see us running to keep up. We had assumed that we started with a smaller location. We have 250 square meters, 6 different classrooms, and we assumed that there's the location we've got for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then we'll grow into another campus. And then already this year we're at capacity, and we're already started looking. So right after this podcast, actually, we're looking at another space for next year already. 15 months out, 14 months out from the start of school in 2022, 23, 23, just to make sure we're ready for that. We expect to double our number of students, and that's just in the medium term. Very long term, I see us creating an educational environment, much like you might see at the American International School in Zagreb, or if you look in Vienna, if you look in other places across Europe, Southeast Asia. You have a number of these schools that have a real sort of, I guess you could call it American-style campus, where it's not just classrooms, it's not just a school building, but there's a collaborative space, a collaborative environment. One of the things I'm personally most excited about bringing in the future is I'm personally most excited about bringing in the future a machine shop and a fabrication lab. My old school in California, we had a digital fabrication lab. So we're talking laser cutters, 3D printers, CNC machines. And it's not like these are things that our high school seniors were working with. We had 7th graders who would walk up to a laser cutter, walk up to a 3D printer, throw in their CAD that they had drawn, and then just make a part, print a part, cut a part out, assemble it. And it's just one of those things that it's so empowering for kids to have that access to a makerspace, that access to hands-on education, and then that really student-driven, inquiry-driven, project-driven learning approach. And I can see us bringing that here within the next 12 to 24 months, absolutely. And that's, oh my God, it's going to be so good. We'll have another interview.
Yeah, we'll have another
Absolutely.
interview,
I can't
definitely.
wait to share it.
Yeah, I'm also so excited to hear that this is happening in my hometown, because as you said, we really needed this. And we are aware that we needed this, and we're so happy that someone started the ball rolling, and then it kind of accumulates. As you said, everyone is coming together, and everyone is accepting this project very well. And about the projects that the international school is doing, I've heard of some. I'm not sure our viewers heard about them, so bring us up to speed.
Okay. So there's actually a couple of different educational projects that we're involved with and collaborating about. One of my absolute favorite is the First Robotics Competition program. And this is an initiative that actually was started in the US in the early 90s, and it really looks at bringing the excitement of sports to STEM education. They're actually, the first organization stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology, and what they do is they actually publish games for children to play with robots that they build.
Nice.
And they've been doing this for 30 years now.
Wow.
And they have teams all across the globe. They have so many different levels of competition. They have programs all the way down to 1st and 2nd grade. They span all the way up to the university level. And it's just, there's such a wealth of experience and involvement there for the kids. And this is something that we're looking to bring to the Split area. Already in Slovenia, in Zagreb, First Lego League is a robotics program. That program is very well known. It's targeted mostly at, I would say, elementary school age children into early high school. But there you're really building with Legos. You're working with some simple robotics programming languages through this Lego education package. What really excites me though, and what we're actually doing, is we're actually looking at the highest tier level of the program. That's the First Robotics Competition. And that's just, that's awesome. That's robots that everyone can have fun with. It's actually, especially adults. These robots are about a cubic meter in volume. They weigh about 50 kilograms.
Wow.
They can drive 20, 25 kilometers an hour. And kids actually build them themselves. So the real target age is high school students. And what these high school students do is they actually design, CAD, fabricate, assemble, wire, program, and they put this whole system together, and all this work goes into it, and it takes them about 2 months is the build season, as they call it. They publish a game every January, and there's a 2-month build season, and then students build this giant robot to play this game.
Wow.
And the game is inspired by maybe basketball, maybe soccer. There's different, it's a very creative game. There's usually a couple different layers of complexity to it, so that it's accessible to beginner teams, but that it's also something that advanced teams can really gain from. And this whole field of sort of educational robotics started in the 60s back at MIT with Professor Woody Flowers, where he used to give his undergraduate students the same sort of challenge and same sort of project. And in the late 80s, they started looking at how they can transition that into high school. And in the early 90s, they started bringing it down to high school. And since then, it's diffused out into all of these different robotics organizations across the globe. Other countries have their own spring-ups. The first one is really sort of the American take on it. But they have tens of thousands of teams in dozens of countries across the globe. And the students just come together in these tournaments, and they just compete. And it's just such an amazing thing to be a part of. It's an amazing thing to see. And that's one of those things that I really wanted to bring with me to Split. Even before we started looking at the international school, even before we started thinking about this, that was an important part of my career. It was something that I found incredibly rewarding. I've seen the impact it has on children, and it's just so great. And I've been actually so lucky in that I've connected with the folks at the Center for Excellence, or Center Izvrsnosti for the Split Demetra County, and they're doing such amazing work here already in Split. They have all of these different initiatives that span the fields of computer programming and robotics and new technology, into mathematics, the sciences, all the way into history and cultural heritage in the area. And they motivate kids and faculty. They have over 100 different collaborating teachers. I'm just one of this huge team that are working with children in all these amazing ways. And I have to say that the Center for Excellence is hands down the best program that I've seen for education and really educational enrichment and growth in Split. It reminds me of so many different organizations back in the US that create all these opportunities for children, that facilitate all of these things. And we've been so lucky to have them support us in this endeavor and in this project. And right now we're actually doing our pilot program. So we've got a number of students working over the summer. We're doing it remotely right now because of COVID, and we're doing it digitally. So they're learning how to do cloud-based digital design in CAD.
Wow, nice. So you had a lot of help from them, from Center of Excellence, and from the community in general, as I understand. What is your point of view about Split as a tech community, as Split Tech City as well, and also all those associations that work to bring this community together? And
oh my God, sorry to cut you. There's so many passionate individuals, and that I think is what really is going to drive Split into the future, is the work of passionate individuals. There are Ivica Zelic at the Center for Excellence. I have to thank him. He has such vision, such drive. Tony from Split Tech City, same thing. Building up this organization, your organization, from just a handful of folks getting together from coffee to talk about computer programmer stuff into everything that it's grown and become. Then you have all of these different government efforts. You have different politicians, Pročelnik Brčić, Pročelnik Jonlić. Both of them have this appreciation, this feeling, this sense that Split can be something more, that Split can grow, that Split can prosper, that the standard of living can be raised, that high salary jobs can come here. And they're all working with and struggling with, how do we make that happen? How do we facilitate that? There are all of these new incubator projects going up, some of them supported by the government, some of them independent. There are all of these different people that have come together. And one of the things that I think has helped us most has been their continued support, their motivation, it's so nice when you have an idea and you bring that idea to somebody and somebody looks at you and says, that's an amazing idea, how can I help? And those are the kind of things that even though we haven't gotten financial support, we haven't gotten political support space, we haven't gotten any of those concrete things that sometimes startups get, we've gotten that whole network. And that whole network is there that is just, I was surprised that Split has so much of it already. And I think the key thing that we have to do now, the next step forward for Split, and I know Split Tech City is going to be a leader in this. I know some of these other organizations, these other politicians are going to be leaders in this. But they really have to work on, how do we have that networking and support piece, but how do we also provide startups, whether it's an educational or a tech or any other startup, with the tools they need, with the equipment, with the space. One of the most amazing things about working in San Francisco that I took away from the startup community there is we had an idea. We actually had our idea, we actually had a prototype. Most tech companies don't even have a prototype. We had a working prototype that we went through 20 alpha testers with before we even made it to an incubator. And then when it was time to start looking at an incubator, We didn't go to an incubator and the incubator told us, okay, pay us this much money, we'll give you this, this, this. It wasn't transactional. It was inspirational and transformational. We got to show up and they said, great, perfect. For 3% of your company, we're going to give you $50K. We're going to give you this much space to work with. You know, it's small, it's a room in a large environment. We're going to give you access to our network. We're going to organize events for you 3 days a week where you can meet other innovators. And that's what Split is missing. Split is missing that part where you show up with an idea and someone says, great, here's a wad of cash, here's a place to work, who do you need to talk to? Let me connect you with them. And we're not quite there yet. I have to say the government's trying. The Croatian Employment Office is starting these self-employment, I guess you could say, initiatives funds where you can get approximately 10,000 euros to start a business. But that tends to be really focused on individuals starting obrts or starting individual businesses. The scale is quite small. They have some very strict terms for investment, strict terms for how you have to apply for that. And that's one of those things that it's there, but it's a little bit too restrictive and it's not large scale enough. If someone starts a tech company in Split, if someone starts a school in Split, they need a place that they can get €500,000. They need a place they can get 50,000 euros. And those places don't exist yet and they need to exist.
Yeah, but we're going to work hard to make them exist.
It's going to happen. I see it happening in the next decade. I absolutely see it happening.
That's great, because the fact is that all these community members that came together are trying to create that future, and that's what we need to focus on. And you're also one of them now, because you're creating our future for real, because you're educating children. So that's
coming together. I think different professionals coming together in their fields and creating something, that's the key. And I think that the tech community, the information technology, computer programming, that whole group, designers, that whole ecosystem is probably the most developed in Split when it comes to doing that. And I'm hoping that on the educational side of the coin, I'm hoping that with some of our colleagues and collaborators, we're going to be able to bring some of these, a similar sort of thing. And education can be the fast follower to tech. But I see this working for other industries as well. I see tourism in Split as being the primary focus. A lot of businesses really focus on tourism. A lot of folks with extra money say, okay, how can I buy this apartment, renovate it, and rent it out to tourists? And that's just driving up our cost of living here. It's making it really hard to find a place to rent. It's making it really hard to compete in other sectors, because the tourism sector is so developed financially that the real estate prices are very high. But I think there's hope, and I think we actually have the potential for industry here. I think we have the potential for a lot of different sectors to follow the model of the tech sector in Split. And as the educational group, we're doing that. Our team of parents is just astounding. The way that they've come together. Every school has a school board. It's kind of a typical thing. We also have a parents board. Our parents board basically oversees our school. When we're putting together community events, when we're organizing logistics for our school year, our parents are giving their input and they're contributing, not because it's not their job, but they're invested in it emotionally. They're invested in it to be part of that group. And the same thing here, most of the Split Tech Teddy folks, they're doing this out of love of Split. They're doing this because they want to create something. And I think that's a model that we have to share with folks and let them know that, just get together and just do that. And it's going to be so good in 10 years when that all comes together.
Yeah, I'd agree, definitely. Now, we talked about work. We went through all the topics.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about relaxing time. What do you do for fun? Where do you go? What do you like to see? Where do you
I remember relaxing. Things were so relaxing before starting this project. Oh my gosh. Croatia used to be amazing. You used to be able to go on a boat and just go scuba diving and hang out. And now I have all this work and I'm founding a school and I don't get to do anything relaxing anymore. But this is probably the most fun I'll have all day with you.
But you do enjoy some things.
Oh, absolutely. Rock climbing, scuba diving, two of my favorites, boating, fishing. Those are some really, I find them to be fun ways to connect with nature, and there's just such a strong community around the outdoors. Hiking, just being is really good. I also really enjoy cooking. One of the things that It's funny how you switched the gears there. One of the things I think is important, and one of the pieces of key advice that I got in San Francisco with a startup is that it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not about going fast and burning out, but it's really about keeping that balance and maintaining that balance and maintaining that quality of life, because that's going to make you, it'll make you more creative. It'll make you more successful. It'll help you achieve those goals. I have to say, unfortunately, I'm in a bit of a sprint phase right now. So we accomplished, I was telling you, we started last September thinking about founding an international school. We started contacting the International Baccalaureate Organization, or we started contacting the Ministry for Science and Education. We just started doing our sort of research phase 1 year before our school was set to open. And we started the formal application process a couple of months after that. And we got our last, we have our last approval paper in hand from the Science and Education Ministry. So we have founded a legal high school recognized by the Croatian government. We have founded a legal elementary school recognized by the Croatian government. And that process took 6 months. And the average time for that process is 1 to 2 years. So
You're in a sprint. That's the definition of a sprint.
We would get a piece of mail, and it would show up. Go to the post office, sign for it, stamp for it. Everything needs a pečat in Croatia, so we stamp for it, and open the mail. Great. You need to change this, this, and this, and do this. Drop the entire schedule, cancel everything. Within 18 to 36 hours, we would have implemented whatever was required. We would have adapted, adjusted, changed. We'd have found a resolution, get it back into the mail, stamped, overnight mailed back to Zagreb. And that back and forth. Emails, some things are resolved by email. It's starting to become more and more used in this country, and I'm really appreciative of the fact that they've brought in this digital pečat, because we've gotten some really key documents by email, which just would not have been possible 5 years ago.
Yes, that's a big improvement here.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm so proud. Whichever political figure, whichever advocacy group pushed for that, it's amazing, because now you can get a PDF document and you don't have to wait a week or two in the mail to have that, and then you can go to the next step. Because the trick about founding anything is that you have so many successive steps where you need this stamp on this piece of paper to get this piece of paper with this stamp, to get this piece of paper with that stamp, to do this thing. And it's a process. And it has been a 6-month sprint, and we're finally in the home stretch. And as soon as we cross the finish line and open on September 6th, then I'm going to take the first day off of school, second day off of school, and just breathe. And then I think we're going to move into this, I would say, more healthy work-life balance for all of our staff, for our teachers, and just do what we love, which is teaching. Our entire founding staff is educational professionals, and we live to teach. So we can't wait to get the kids in the classroom and really get started.
Well, me and the whole Split Tech City team wish you all the success, and that you really get to that home stretch and then rest, have fun with the kids, teach them new things, and enjoy your work.
Oh my God.
Thank you very much.
I can't wait to get started. It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be so great. Thank you, John, for spending the morning with us this lovely day, lovely summer day, and see you around at some of the Split Tech City meetups and Split Tech City events. And I would like to invite you all to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media for more Split Tech City content like this. Thank you and bye!